From Target Center, the Timberwolves have a season low in assists, a season low in three-pointers made, and just a really tough all-around afternoon. Rebecca Brunson and Marnie Gellner with you on a little bit of a disappointing one for fans here, leading up to a pretty big sporting day, but not this afternoon for the Timberwolves. It never clicked. There were moments, there were spurts, but they never could get it going for sustained periods of time on either end.
You're right. When this game started, the Wolves started off with multiple turnovers, right? That has been something that, we've talked about on numerous occasions of taking care of the basketball and valuing possessions and how important that was. So right away, you turn the ball over, right? The Wolves didn't shoot the three initially right away in this game. Didn't shoot the three well. They were getting to the paint, so they had some offense moving in that way. But they didn't have the collective. We talked about coming into this game about the moves that the Clippers had made before the trade deadline and moving off of James Harden. But they maintained that Kawhi Leonard is somebody that they are going to continue to play around, and he showed up today. He was the guy for this Clippers team right away.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard was really good to start the game. He was good throughout the game. Kawhi led all scorers with 41 points here this afternoon. He had 12 of them in the first quarter to really set the tone. He had 2 steals in the first couple of minutes.
He did. Look, this is a guy that can score the basketball no matter where you give it to him, right? He's going to be able to shoot the three ball well, 5 of 11 from 3. He had 30 field goal attempts in this game, but he was just so persistent. He is a master with his footwork. He is going to get you off balance with multiple fakes. He takes his time until he just really breaks down whatever type of defensive effort that you're going to give him. A lot of the ways that he scored ISO situations, I think he may have had 9 ISO situations, scored on 7 of those, right? Multiple defenders. That is what he does. So the Wolves just could not, one, contain him, right, match his physicality, stop his offense, and then counteract that on the other end of the floor. They just didn't have it.
Kawhi actually had 3 steals in the first 2 minutes. He finished the game with 4, and to your point, Rebecca, just scored from everywhere on the court this afternoon and was needing to turn things up on the defensive end. And what we saw from the Clippers today was exactly that. The Clippers D kind of leading the way and holding the Wolves to under 100 points, so 96 points, holding Minnesota to 45% shooting and holding the Wolves to 8 made three-pointers. That was a season low for the Timberwolves as well.
The Clippers were so aggressive defensively. They had active hands, multiple strips in this ball game, just being handsy and forcing some of those turnovers. The Wolves had 20 turnovers, and you think about the Clippers defense as a whole on the season. I think they might be 20th on the season. Over the last 4, even worse than that. Their defensive rating is 120 through the last 4 games. So this is not a team that you necessarily think of as being elite defensively, but they're active. They move with the basketball, they pressure, they're physical. All right, so just the combination of the Timberwolves not valuing the basketball, being a little bit loose for it, maybe waiting for or anticipating a call when it wasn't necessarily there, allowed the Clippers to continue to be physical and force the issue defensively. And yeah, again, the Wolves didn't have a balance for that. So this is not a typically great defensive team, but they played an elite defense tonight in this game.
And never really made it easy. Never let the Wolves feel comfortable, never let the Wolves find a flow. This afternoon, we saw the Dosunmu debut. Dosunmu, who was traded here from Chicago on Thursday, made his official debut this afternoon, coming off the bench for 25 minutes, 11 points, a couple of steals for today.
He was fun to watch. I don't feel like he really had the opportunity to shine. This defensive play was when he first came into the ball game, was active, being physical, trying to do what he does on both ends of the floor. But, as the game continued, I think that some of those minutes that he had, the ball wasn't really moving, and that's where he shines. He shines in a situation where the ball is moving around, where he can get out and play with pace and try to get things going fast and in transition. And the Wolves didn't have that. A lot of the situations where he was kind of standing. He got to the corners and got to his spots. He sprint out, when the Wolves got the ball. So he tried to get some things in that way. But collectively as a team, you just didn't see him be able to really, really shine. But I do think we saw some things as far as like his three-point shooting is concerned, his physicality defensively, and his pace that you can kind of see, okay, where this might go and how he might be able to be helpful as the season goes on.
And he hit 3 of 7 from 3. He's having a career year there. And just overall energy and effort from Io. One game, small sample size, but the start of hopefully something that will help the Timberwolves build beyond. The Timberwolves have now lost 3 of 4 after dropping this one this afternoon to the Clippers. Here's our Menards game summary, a 115-96 final. Kawhi Leonard led all scorers with 41 points. Anthony Edwards led Minnesota with 23. Julius Randle had 17, but the Timberwolves had a season-low 8 made three-pointers, also a season-low 17 assists this afternoon. Actually, that was one off their season-low assists. Let's hear from the head coach, Chris Finch, in his post-game remarks.
Chris, just seems like there's a collective connection missing with this team right now. What are you seeing with the group, and how do you pull out of this right now?
Yeah, I mean, we got to get our offense kind of going again. I mean, we had a lot of turnovers tonight. You know, we got to get some kind of rhythm and speed to our offense. I think, you know, guys are not kind of included enough in the offense. I think we get some connectivity from that. But, you know, yeah, we don't have a great spirit about us right now. We got to pick it up and, you know, try to finish these last 2 games strong before the break. And, you know, yeah, that's apparent.
What the ball movement completely has dried up. It feels like what are you seeing? What is causing that, and how do you?
Yeah, I think. Like I said, we've lost our structure on offense. You know, early actions, our early pass, kind of getting into the stuff that allows us to get a bit of a rhythm and build things up. And we've also lost pace, which allows us to get to early attacks, collapse the defense. You know, our kick-out game has got to be, I think, a little quicker as well. You know, we're trying to play trying to play in the crowd. The last few games they've really crowded us. So there are kickouts that we got to find, and I think that'll get the ball moving again.
In those moments in the season when the spirit dips like that, how do you kind of get it back, or what do you have to do to recapture that part?
Yeah, I mean, you got to stay positive. You know, I thought, you know, certainly start the game defensively. We did.
It seems like you guys are really putting in the effort on the ball right now, but it's off ball that seems to be going. Yeah,
I mean, we're not navigating screens the best. You know, our low man presence at the rim is inconsistent. You know, we have been doing a good job, as you said, on the ball. You know, getting some steals and deflections there, but we got to be better in all parts of it.
When you have had lulls in the season like this before, does the good energy and vibes come first and then the play follows, or does the play usually the execution come and then things turn around?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer. You got to play well. You know, you got to bring good energy, I think, every day, no matter what. But you got to play well to, you know, prove it to yourself and you know, get the juices flowing again. So.